Everyone, it's Esther. Welcome, welcome, welcome tonight. Come on in. Come on in. Good evening, good day, good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I want to welcome you in to come in and join us for another Monday night Facebook Live. Life by Design. Let's talk. Let's have a dialogue and not a monologue. So tonight, I want to welcome in Dr. Viola Pierce. I call her Dr. V. She is a friend. She's my friend, y'all. We met. It's almost a year or about a year now. Yeah, she is a phenomenal woman. Dr. V is a nurse practitioner, right?
Well,
No,
I'm a doctor in nursing practice, but mine is in leadership.
Yep, hers is in leadership. I'm sorry, it's in leadership, but she does have a nursing practice. And anyway, guys, I'm gonna let her introduce herself, right? Because there's a lot of powerful things that Dr. V does, and one of the things that I absolutely love about her, and which is why I invited her to come to Festa della Donna to the soiree, is that Dr. V, man, listen, she can connect your health with what God says, with what you're doing, and it is phenomenal. And it does not really matter where you are on the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? It doesn't, it really doesn't. You know, if you're saying, well, I'm not really, that's not what's important, because what she has to share and what she has to talk about, it is always, no matter what the subject is, it's always powerful. And I absolutely love it. So listen, if you're near pen and paper, you need to grab your pen, you need to grab your paper, right? You need to grab it because you're going to get nuggets. You're going to receive nuggets and you're going to want to write down and jot down. So, guys, if you see me looking down, I am trying to pull up my Facebook page so I can see who's all on there, because sometimes I don't get to see everybody that's on there. So, I'm pulling it up. So, that's why you see me looking down. All right. So, now, Dr. V, Dr. Viola, I'm going to let you share a little bit about yourself and what you're doing big in the world, how you're helping women. I entitled our session tonight, Empowered People, because men join us as well, Empower People. And she is here to empower us and to give us some nuggets. So everyone, I want you to celebrate with me, Dr. Viola, Dr. V. Welcome. Take the floor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank you, Esther, for bringing me on stage with you. It's been a phenomenal friendship. You're super energetic. I love your energy. I love you. I love everything about you. And so those of you who are not following her, you need to start following her, because she is amazing. From the very gate, I knew that we would be friends. So my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. Just a little bit about me. I am the CEO and the founder of the Nurse Nurturer and VP Nursing. So the Nurse Nurturer is a not-for-profit. And the goal there is to equip healthcare professionals to be spiritually and physically fit, financially stable, able to lead with integrity, to decrease error at the bedside, increase resilience, but also to lead a full empowered life.
Hold up, Dr. B. You got to repeat that one more time. And she said that so fast. I was trying to catch you. You got to repeat it. Hey, James. Hey, Janelle. Nice seeing you guys. So come on, repeat it one more time. What is it that you do?
So the Nurse Nurturer, a goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be spiritually and physically fit, financially stable, able to lead with integrity, to decrease error at the bedside, increase resilience, but also for you to lead a full empowered life.
A full empowered life.
Yeah. So that's just the not-for-profit. And then we have a for-profit, which is VP Nursing. And our goal for the for-profit is to teach you how to pivot into entrepreneurship. Yeah. So you are able to work from your computer, coaching and consulting all around the world, creating generational wealth and owning your own time. So these are for the little bit of more of the seasoned nurses out there. So yeah, so that's what I do for a living all day, every day. And I love it. I'm super excited about joining Esther for the soiree. We're going to have a good time.
Don't you just love the name? Don't you love the soiree? Yeah.
So I love it. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I do. And I do have a morning show, a YouTube channel. We are on all social media platforms. have a YouTube channel. It's called The Nurse Nurturer. And we have leaders. Esther is actually going to be one of our guests. One of our leaders, we have leaders that have overcome, because the reality is that you think that, your situation is unique. You think that you can't overcome, but the reality is that, you can do anything through God who strengthens you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
so,
Right.
it looks like it's hard, but yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Once you put your mind to it, right? You just have to make one decision and make a decision that you're going to do it. And once you make that move, then God just makes it, He just helps you and pushes you and walks you along the way. Yeah. Powerful.
Right. And, the reality is that, we really think that things are happening to us, but things are happening for us. And I never understood that. And I never got that until as I kept walking in my purpose, because, literally my journey was just like one step at a time. I never thought that I would be Dr. Viola Pierce. Yeah, I know. I didn't think I was going to do that for sure. But, it was one step at a time. I started out my career as an LPN. I was an LPN for 10 years.
Y'all listen. Y'all listen. This is good.
I
Yeah.
thought I was going to happily retire as an LPN. But what I figured out was that one stream of income was not going to work for me. I figured out that one stream of income was not going to give me the life that I needed. So I knew that I needed to pivot. And so I just stepped it one step at a time, and really never thought that I would get to where I am. But the reality is that I am. And just like I did it, you can do it too. It takes grit. It takes hard work. But at the end of the day, you live a disciplined life right now. You live today like no other, so that you can live tomorrow like no other. Okay?
Say that one more time. You live today like no other.
So you can live tomorrow like no other.
That's right. That's right.
Dave Ramsey says that a lot. And,
Yeah.
it's not just in finances, and in everything that you do. You want to make sure that you are living that disciplined life. I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, because millionaires get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? So
That's
I
right.
get up 4 a.m. in the morning. I get up, I read a proverb, I pray, and then I journal. And then at 4:30 to 5:30, I'm on the treadmill doing planks, lunges, whatever, and some type of exercise to get my to get my endorphins going, right? The serotonin, the natural pain relievers of the body, right?
Yeah.
Get those going, and then I take a shower, and then I'm working on my business. I mean, it is every day, and you got to do it every single day. And then Sunday now, take a rest.
Sunday.
Because you need a rest, which is the reason why, Esther has that retreat that she has going on. I mean, we need a rest, and we need people to be back into us.
Yeah.
And so, Esther, I'm super excited about that retreat too, in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
I'm super, super excited. Yeah. Because listen, I need a rest too. I need it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal.
And that house, I mean, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. With a gourmet chef. Out of Atlanta. So I'm so excited. We have so many things that's planned. And it's in a safe environment. You know what I mean? Social distance. We have everything. Everybody's got their private rooms, private bathrooms. Everything has already been set up and in place. So we're actively planning. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So now tell us about what you're doing.
Yeah, so I have a course. It's a 12-week course at this point. It's called VP Nursing Business Academy. And basically what I do is there's a couple of things that I do. So basically, it's a coaching and an online learning module where I teach nurses how to pivot into business, but not just that, and have gained so much knowledge, over the years to leverage your time online, because the online space has leveraged the playing game, guys.
Yes, it has.
Leverage the playing game. This is the time. People sit back in a pandemic and they chill out and they're like, well, I can't do anything because the pandemic. Let me tell you, I was supposed to put on a in-person conference in August. We ended up pivoting to online, and it was hugely successful. So yes, so don't stop right now. Don't stop right now. To now is the time for you to leverage that space.
It is. It is.
And it's just really really good just to pour back into healthcare professionals because they're just so phenomenal, and I'm just super excited that Esther has given me this platform. But one of the things that I do as well is I'm very intentional about helping you to understand that your wealth is tied to your health is tied to your wealth.
Yeah, that's
Many
good.
times we will the basis of Maslow's hierarchy is physiological. And in order for us to be able to reach self actualization, which is the highest, most best form of yourself, you have to be physiologically together. Because what happened is we'll get out there and we'll try to start doing things, and we don't have the energy to do it. And we don't have the energy to do it because we're not filling our bodies with good food. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love what I do. And so I'm just super excited about just what Esther has going on. I'm super excited about, everything that she has doing. So
So tell me, Dr. V, when you're coming to Delaware, y'all, Dr. V is in North Carolina. And when you come to Delaware, just give us just a snippet of what you will be sharing with us, with all of the wonderful men and women that will be in the room, because this year we're allowing the men to come. We want the men to come and celebrate the woman in their life, right? And to hold them in high esteem and just shower them. So yeah.
one of the things that my speech will be talking about one step at a time, because a lot of times what happens is we look at the staircase. We look at the staircase and we think that we are it's such a hard and arduous trial, but the reality is it's one step at a time. And I remember going in to get my doctoral degree, and I remember sitting in there, and because nobody told me. I probably should have researched it a little bit, but nobody told me that you have to write a small book. Okay, when you go to get your doctoral
Yeah,
degree,
you do. They just give it a different name, right?
they
Yeah,
call it a dissertation. It's a
yeah.
book. Okay, I just want to let y'all know. All right, and so nobody told me this. And for someone who really does not like to write, I was very intimidated by the process, but it was one step at a time. It was one step at a time. And if you take that one step at a time, that next best step, I can tell you, you will reach success. But you got to take that one step at a time and stop being fearful, because fear will paralyze you. Fear
Mm,
will have you in that minutia of, oh my God, I can't do this, because you're looking at you getting overwhelmed, and then you stop. You stop and you can't stop.
yeah.
Okay, because the world needs your gift. The world needs who you are. And you may not think that it is a good purpose. You may not think that what you got has any. No, there is somebody in this world that needs you who you are. And let me tell you something about money, because I love it. Okay, don't get me wrong. All right. But money will never, ever fulfill you. It will never fulfill you. It is the service of other people that always fulfills you.
Say that one more time. It's the service of other people that
That
will fulfill you.
will always fulfill you. It
Yeah.
is the
That's
service.
good.
Because what happens is a lot of times, I mean, you see people that are rich, right? They're super rich and they hang themselves or they kill themselves,
Yeah.
because they have money, but they don't necessarily have that fulfillment. And let me tell you something also, pouring from a full cup where your cup is overflowing. And I say this a lot, because I pour from my saucer, right? My husband, my children, my grandchildren, nobody gets from my cup. Because if I pour from my cup, then I'm depleting myself. But what happens is I need to be pouring from my saucer. Okay. And so once I pour from my saucer, you are getting my overflow and you're getting the best part of me, right? And so you want to be very intentional about pouring from your overflow.
From
Be
the
very
overflow.
clear about that. It
Dr.
is. huge.
I love that the analogy because I think I'm a coffee drinker, right? And so if I have my cup of coffee as I do right now, y'all see my little Festa della Donna symbol. Can you see it on the coffee? Anyway, so I drink from my coffee. What's that?
Just a little plug in there.
Just a little plug, shameless plug. So, I drink from my coffee. I don't share my coffee with someone to drink, right? But it's like when you're pouring the coffee, what's in the cup is really for you. What's coming out of the cup, the overflow, what's in the saucer is what you have to work with to give to others, right? So I love that you really serve from your overflow, serving from your saucer. That's phenomenal, guys. I have to tell you, we learned that really in our courses, our coaches, and we're even learning now to really just serve others from our overflow. When I'm tired, I got to take the step back and serve myself, right? And I love that because that's so much tied, as you're saying, to your health as well and to your wealth. I love that. I love that. So
And then,
you've got, just before you continue, you've got some comments. Monica says, Amen. Pinky Williams says, true, it's not about you. Julietta says, awesome. Sonia McCrae says, right. Guys, I love it. And if you're on Facebook, give your comments and heart it up, light it up, and let us know, yeah, I'm getting this. I'm understanding. Go ahead, Dr. V.
yes, and there's so many things that I have just learned throughout, my life about just being very specific and intentional about the things that you do, and about failing, because I mean I failed at plenty of things, and I failed at many, 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 many things. But the reality is that I could fail and then just sit in that failure. And surrounding yourself with friends who won't let you sit in that failure, that is huge. That is probably one of the biggest things. I have a friend that I called her up one day and I was like, I was upset about a work situation. And she said to me, she was like, you, it's, I'm gonna need for you to get up and go home. And and the thing about it is that what I do know without a shadow of a doubt is that God gives me renewed strength day by day. And so, although I will be upset that day, what I do know in my mind is that if I can just wake up that next day, and
Yeah.
in this pandemic, what has happened is a lot of us are chilling, right? We're at home, and this causing a lot of depression and a lot of people to have hard times. But the reality is that just know that if God got you up that next day, that you have a purpose, and
Yeah.
you have to seek that purpose, and you have to go after that purpose, and you have to be intentional about going after that purpose and that
Mhm.
service to others. And
Can
when
someone type that in chat? Be intentional about your purpose.
yeah,
Must be intentional. Yeah, that's good.
and when you serve in that purpose, like I coach now, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like it is the thing that I will wake up and I would do if nobody paid me. Now I'm gonna get my coins, don't get me wrong, okay? But at the same time, it is the thing that I would do when no one would pay me.
Yeah.
Does it drain me sometimes? Yes, that's a little bit. I mean, I'm pulling from my overflow, and so I'm good, right? And so I just have to renew myself. And the way that I renew myself is in the morning, putting that armor on God, on me, by praying in the morning and being very intentional about that quiet time. Because we get up, we pick up the phone, we look at the phone. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm very intentional about my phone. I do not pick up my phone early in the morning. It is
Yeah.
I go to my computer, I pull up my computer, and then I go in and I look up whatever verse that I'm going to read that morning. Because
Yeah.
if I pick up my phone, that is people pulling on you. They they don't need your space early in the morning. The person that is most important in the morning is God. Period. Period. And
Yeah.
so I'm very intentional about pouring into him so that he can pour into me. Because I mean,
I have a rule, Dr. V, that I don't either, not before 9 a.m., right? And not before, and sometimes it's at 10 a.m. It depends on what's going on. So if someone reaches out to me prior to 9, because everyone who knows me know that you're not contacting me before 9 a.m. It has to be an emergency. And and the reason I had to start doing that is because it, my time would be taken up. And so that I don't have I don't get to really spend that quality time. Quality, it's not quantity, guys, it's the quality time. Right. So I don't get to spend that quality time with God, and then I don't get to spend it with myself. I don't even get to pour into me. You understand? And He doesn't get to pour into me either. And so one of the reasons why it became very, very important to me is because I remember when I was at another company and I was the CEO, right? And every morning I had a certain staff member who would call me every morning, like at 8, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And every morning that they called me, they were just all these things. It was always an issue. And the day didn't even start yet. And I remember my husband said to me one morning, he said, Esther, do you realize they call you every morning at this time? And then when you're by the time you're walking out the door, you're in a bad mood, you know, and he just went down the list. And I thought, oh my God, that is so true. That I would wake up great, talk to them, and I always answer to see what's going on. And then my whole day, my whole demeanor, everything would just change. And then, of course, he's not with me in the car driving in, but I would drive in and I'm talking to God. And it's so hard for me to like press through because I've already got my mind all bogged down with just all kinds of issues, right? And
Right.
so that's when it's like, no, my day does not start before 9 a.m. unless honestly it's an emergency or I have to be at a meeting that I do not control the
Well,
time of the
if
meeting.
I call you before 9 a.m., you just let me know, okay? Because I'm sure I have called you before
No,
that.
you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't. You haven't. You haven't called me before 9 a.m. You may have text, but that's okay. It's almost like they can text me, but you know what I mean? But it's just that phone call. And sometimes it does happen. But I really like that time. Just to, yeah, honestly, I like that time to have my morning cup of coffee. I like that time to get my thoughts together. I like that time to deep breathe, you know. And I'll be honest with you, Dr. V. I'm not as diligent as exercising as you are, truth be told. Guys, I'm being transparent, and I know I'm not the only one. I wish I could get up and exercise. I could get up. It's the exercising piece.
It's literally literally I'm getting on the treadmill like, oh my God. But once I'm like 10 minutes in, then I'm good. I'm good. But it's so funny that you say that because I remember there was a pastor that came to preach at our church. And what the pastor said was that he said, that parishioner that you really, really don't like. And it was like, why he talking about folk he don't like? He the pastor. But anyway, he said they get on your nerves. He said, do not schedule a meeting with that person at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No,
He
you
said, schedule a meeting with that person at 3:30. He said, he ain't get my prime time. Nope.
But I know, listen, it's so true. But I will tell you, I have to say this because I don't know if Nancy's on there, if she's on there, Nancy's from my church. And listen, Nancy's a prayer warrior. And I told her, if God tells you to call me at 6 a.m. in the morning, pick up the phone and call. So I want you to know, Nancy, if God's telling you to call me at 6, don't listen. Well, she said she didn't want nobody calling her before. Don't listen to that. Don't God's telling you to call because she will say, and she always feels so bad. Well, I'm just calling you so early, but I just really felt as if God told me to call you to pray with you. And I'm like, please pray. As long as you know it's God, then please call me and pray with me. Because the thing about it is that we don't know what's going to happen. And I just always believe that I just have to be totally covered. You understand? Because we walk through our day and we're doing all of these different things and we're setting our intentions and we're working, we're entrepreneurs, we're parallelpreneurs, we're all of these, whatever it is, we're CEOs, we're motivational, inspirational speakers. Different things are happening and we have to be protected and covered and we have to have the direction of God on our side, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And I have to say, guys, because people say, no, this has nothing to do with, can I say it if you don't mind, with what I believe and what you believe.
That's right.
In terms of, we're all at different places in our lives, and that is okay. That's okay. You might not believe like I believe, and that is okay. I'm not here to push anything on you, but I am here to share. I
Yeah.
am here to info. That's what we're here for. We're all placed on this earth for a reason and a purpose. And as Dr. V said earlier when she started, we're here for a purpose. And listen, while we're here, there's some things that we have to accomplish that only we can do. So Jennifer says, hello, ladies. Renee Gardner. I love saying T. Renee Gardner says, most important thing in the morning is God. No one else book that time
I
slot.
know that's right.
No one else. Pinky says, yes, give him your first time. Amen. Let's see. We have Carol that's joining us. Carol says, I'm joining. She's joining us from Canada. Let's see who else is joining. That's Jennifer that says, hello, ladies.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
So this is good conversation, guys. Good conversation. So continue just for a few more minutes, Dr. B, and continue to share with us, and then we're gonna share some special stuff that's coming up.
I think that one of the things too that we kind of that I didn't do initially was that I didn't meditate and just let God pour into me.
Yeah.
I used to just talk to God, but God needs to, He needs to have a voice in my life. And like Esther said, we're not trying to, push any agenda on you, any religion or anything. I'm just telling you what works for me. I
Amen.
mean, He has been faithful through it all. He has allowed doors to close that should close. He has allowed doors to open. When I open a door and I walk straight through that door, I know it's nothing but God. I'm about to say, of course, now I'm not.
Like the real cute dude,
But it's those things. And the thing about it is that we're just here because we I personally, at the end of the day, love you all. And my goal is to ensure that you understand, that you have a purpose. Every last one of us have a purpose, and we be sleeping on it. Like we don't let it happen, because we're so scared, because we're so fearful. And fear is just, because we're so scared of failure, and you're gonna fail. I mean, I failed at plenty of things. I failed out of nursing school. I mean, I was supposed to go on to get my RN degree when I first started as my LPN, and I couldn't get. I mean, I had my GPA wasn't high enough because I was supposed to go to school to be an engineer, but my mom was like, "Nah, you ain't going to school to be an engineer. We're gonna send you to nursing school because that's cheaper. You can go to the community college to get the nursing degree. I'm gonna have to send you to a 4-year school." And so I was like, well, okay, whatever. I just needed education. So I went there and didn't know that you gave Tylenol for a fever. And I mean, I knew nothing. So I went there. I was 17 years old. I came out of school at 19, spent 10 years as an LPN, then just step by step walked it until I got my doctoral degree. It's just amazing how God just walks you into your purpose. And if you'd have told me 10 years ago that I would be an entrepreneur, I would have said no. But it is important that you understand that when you see it, you have to walk in it. Faith without works is dead. God will work it out. He will give you the desires of your heart, and He will do exceedingly abundantly, but more than you could ask or think. And I was like, well, God, I can ask for a lot, but
and woo, yeah.
but what I didn't know, and what I was not aware of was that I would have, I knew that I would make money. That was never ever a question for me. But I never thought that I would have the connections and the friendships and the love and the amazing people in my life that I do. The powerful women that I have in my life. I never thought that it would be that way. And let me tell you something that held me back. I'm just going to tell you a small story. It was a small story, and it's such a story that I didn't realize at the time. And I used to get really, really upset when people used to walk out of my life. Okay. And it even upsets me now to an extent. But that's just because that's about the little girl that's coming out of me. I won't say she's a friend. And when we were younger, we were super close, or so I thought. So I used to look up to her. I can remember a picture on Facebook that one of my nieces put up on Facebook where I was just looking up at her because I thought that she was just, I just loved her, right? And I used to look up to her. Well, she went out of town, a few days, and when she came back in, and she came back into town, and when she got back, she just didn't want me to hang out with her anymore. I was standing on this side of the house, she was standing on this side of the house, and she didn't see me, and she was saying, I don't know why she keeps following me around. And I remember being so hurt by that conversation. And I remember leaving that conversation and being fearful, getting married to a man that I really did not, it was out of a scarcity of relationship. Okay. Scarcity of relationship would put you in some places that you don't need to be. Okay.
Right.
So
That's good. That's
I was scarce. That was the reason why I got married. The first time was because I thought that nobody else is going to want you because she threw you away. So he's going to throw you away. Well, eventually, I remember she ended up going on to be almost like she would steal from nothing that if it won't nail down, she was stealing, and she ended up passing away a little bit later. What I learned from that situation was when I went into my DPI project, which is what you do for your DNP, you do what's called a DPI, which is very similar to the dissertation. You have to defend your project. So I was defending my project. And as soon as I got up from that defense, God dropped it in my spirit just as clear. And he said, I could not have her in your life because you would have not been where you are today because of that. You see, when takes people out of your life, you need to let them go.
that's
Let,
right. Yeah.
let them go. And the problem is that we put lifetime expectation on seasonal folks, and letting them go is powerful. And so now I don't hold on to people like I used to. Now I do. I cherish the powerful women that I have, but I do not let it hold me back because I'm going on the way to the top. I'm not going to step on you to get there. I am going to honor you to get there. I am going to do whatever I can. But if you choose to stay, great. If you don't, then I know that you were part of the end plan for me. And that's okay because we can go up to the mountaintop. You can go up to your mountaintop. I can go up to my mountaintop and we can be all good, right?
Yeah.
But you want to be able to have those intentional relationships with people who are pushing you, who
Yeah.
are telling you that you can do it no matter what. So
No matter what. Yeah.
that is my big thing right there.
Yeah, that's powerful because it's empowered people empower people. And so you want people around you that's gonna say, yeah, you got this, you can make it, you can do it, and not people that's gonna stop you or hinder you. And so I think that's where, many of us, y'all, if this is you, type it in chat. This is me. You're just at a place in your life where you are surrounding yourself with people that are going upward. They are forward moving people and they're having forward moving conversation. And the tongue in their mouth and the tongue in their shoe, they're both walking in the same direction, right? Yeah. Tongue in the mouth and the tongue in the shoe, they're walking in the same direction. It's so important. And I love that story because, come on, y'all, don't leave us out here just like that. Heart us up if you're on Facebook, type in, yeah, Yana, you're not alone. How many of you out there have looked and you're saying, wait a minute, hold on, I've got to somehow separate. And there is, listen, I've had so many instances where I didn't understand why people were not in my life anymore, and I look back and I thank God that he moved them out of my life. Why? Because where I'm going, they can't go, they can't handle it.
Mm-mm.
You understand what I mean? And so it's important that you surround yourself with like-minded people, that people that are going to what's the word? Just continue to lift you up as you lift them up.
That's right. You're
You
the
know?
total of the 5 people that you hang out with the most.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be very careful about those association. I can't
Exactly.
give my time because it's limited to
Yeah.
people that are not going anywhere. If you gossiping about other folks, that is not what I'm trying to do.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love
That's
that.
right. I love it. And so one of the things, Dr. V, that we did right now, I see Ashley's Wine Dan Nazarene. She says, working on that now, surrounding myself with the right people. So important. You have to be surround yourself with the right people, be in the right place and the right time. All of those things all work together, right? The right people. I refuse to surround myself with people that are not forward thinking and forward moving. I refuse to surround myself with people that are naysayers. You
Mhm.
know, and I refuse to surround myself with people who are continually talking about what they're gonna do,
And ain't
but
done
they
nothing.
never do it. And we still talking about what we gonna do 3, 4 years later. It's time out for that. It really is, because it's time out as we look at our life, and what has really helped me to key in more is as we're in this pandemic, and I had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to pray, a lot of time to just really go inward and look at Esther, and look at what God has poured into me, just as He's poured into all of you that are listening. And so here it is. The question is, what are you doing? What are the intentions? Here we are, January 11th. We're in the new year, 2021. What are we doing? One of the things, Dr. V, which this is just a great segue into it, is not just my live event, which is Festa della Donna, the soiree at the riverfront. Listen, guys, tickets are already being sold. Dr. V is going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a great time. Listen, and yeah, bring the men in your life. But it's social. What is the word? COVID friendly. She's bringing her man. I'm bringing mine. As if they have a choice, right? As if they have a choice. But yeah, come and celebrate, because we need to celebrate each other, and it's healthy. It's very healthy to celebrate each other and to celebrate ourselves. And so there will be social distancing. So space is very limited. Space is extremely limited. And so make sure that you get your tickets before we have to cut it off. Keep in mind, it's social distancing. You will have to wear your mask. Make sure you get that mask that looks good if that's what you choose to do, right? And temperatures are going to be taken, yeah, because it's going to be a very safe environment. And then, of course, there's the retreat that's in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Woohoo! Now that's what a 5-day retreat. I'm so excited. I'm hyped about. I'm really hyped about both of it. So I'm super excited about that. Once again, COVID regulations, COVID guidelines, even stricter there, right? Even once we get there, everything is taken care of for us. We won't have to leave the facility because we've got our gourmet cook. We've got everything that we need. Everything, y'all, to where it's a time of transformation. It's going to be spirit filled, what is it? Content rich, God focused. All of the events. It's going to be whatever it is that you need. Which you may say one day is good, but you may say, you know what, I need that one day and I need the 5 days, right? So come on in and join us. But Dr. V, as you're talking about that, I'm super excited that I will be doing a possibility journey. And the first day will be, and it's free registration, guys. It will be January 24th. It'll be coming out soon, but I just kind of want to drop that seed because there's so many possibilities around us. And one of my favorite verses, one of my favorite verses, words that are spoken, says, "All things are possible." There's possibilities all around us if we just believe.
That's
We
right.
got to believe in God, and we got to believe in ourselves. We got to believe that we could do this, right? And so I'm super excited. And so when you're talking about that, I was sick at home, laying in my bed, like, and the Holy Spirit just began to speak to me just on a couple things. And He said, there's so many possibilities around you. There's so many things in this life that we can do that we don't even realize it and recognize it. And that's when He said, do a possibility journey. Help the people get from here to there. So it's going to be an 11-month journey. Even if you don't start right away, you can say, I'm going to start in the middle. Listen, we're going to start beginning January 24th. The registration will be coming. You got to register and you have to join us. It is going to be phenomenal because so many times we have fear. We're like this. Have you ever been like that? Where you're like, should I jump? Should I jump? should I? Should I? you know and sometimes, listen, we just gotta jump, right? We just got to jump. Lanita says we must believe. It's so important. And then here's the other piece. Again, laying in my bed. When we believe, what is it that we're believing? Right?
That's right.
What do you believe in? What are you believing for? So listen, I can think some wild things. I could, and I'm glad I could, because if I can think it and God can do it 3 times above that, like to the third dimension, come on now.
That exceedingly abundantly.
Yes, that's it. Exceedingly abundantly. So when then what is it that stops me? What is it that stops you? What's that block? You know? What's the obstacle that really stops you from forging forward? And so those are the kind of things that we want to tackle. We want to talk about. We want to get breakthroughs and breakthroughs and breakthroughs. So when, listen, you come to the soiree, you come to the retreat, you've got the possibility journey. You're going to look back in December, you're going to look back and say, whoa, I'm no longer the same. Just as you did, Dr. B, when you joined GLP and joined it, just as I did. I mean, that's how we met, right? Why? Because empowered people empower people. You want to be around women or people that are just empowering, that they're empowered and they're going to empower you. And not that you don't have a moment where, it's kind of like, that you get scared. Some days are sometimes they're not the greatest day, but they may knock you down, but they don't knock you out. You jump back up and you say, whew. I like to say, listen, I like to teach, listen, I may get down and I may cry. But then when I'm finished crying, I get up, I wipe my eyes, and then it's on. It's on like butter popcorn, as they say. I'm ready to go. And nothing will stop me. I may have to call you, Dr. V. I may have to call another friend just to say, can we talk about this? And I do that. Can we talk about how I'm feeling about this? And once I do that, right? Once I do that, then I'm back on track. And that's what's amazing about having empowered women around you, having empowered men around you, because not somebody that's going to hold you back, not somebody that's going to tell you that don't let your light shine too bright. You just give them some sunglasses, like what Lisa Nichols says. Give them the sunglasses, because you can't dim your light.
That's right. That's right.
You can't dim your light. So if you can't handle my light, wear some sunglasses around me, because I'm going to let my light shine, because I'm here for a purpose. I'm on this earth for a purpose. And God has made me uniquely me, and only I could do, only you can do, right? That's right. Lanita says it's like double dutching in life. Only you could do, Lanita, what God has called you to do. Juliet, only you could do what God has called you to do. Who else? Come on. Latanya is saying empowered people empower people. Yeah, and Latanya, only you can do what God has called you to do. Ashley, the same thing. Ashley says, keep it going. Yeah, you have to keep it going, because only you could do what God has called. I can't do what Dr. V is doing. I can't, because he didn't put it on me to do it. I can only do what I'm doing, right?
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I'm
One of the things I found out the other day, and it's true, and that 96% of the people who get in coaching programs, they fail, and they fail because they are not doing what they need to do. And the reality is that if you're a boss and you can do it, then
yeah.
it's your job to show up and show out. It
Yeah.
is your job. The coach gives you the environment. It is your job to show up and show out. Just like
Yeah.
they gave us the environment,
Yeah.
then we showed up and we showed out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And got it done and got it done. And so and what's wonderful is that that's on the plate for everybody to show up and get it done. Listen, invest in yourself, and don't have others invest in you more than you are invested in yourself. God, believe in your creator, the person who created you from the inception, not even from the day you were born, from the inception, with greatness within you. Now it's time to really discover that. And some of you may be saying, well, I know what some of that is. Well, then let's just go a little bit deeper. Let's just dive a little bit deeper. Because what I realized, Dr. B, while I laid in my bed, sick, feeling miserable, that there's all types of possibilities all around me, and I could see it. And the wonderful thing is that I can not only see it for me, but I could see it for others as well. I could see where they're selling themselves short. There's just so much. And this is the year we've gone through a year of 2020. We're in a new year, right? And we're marked. We're all marked. We're marked to do something great.
Great.
Great. And we have to do it. It's our time. It's our time, right? So listen, that's what I'm talking about at Susie's Make It Rain. It's our time because there's a time for everything. It's our time to excel. It's our time to go above. Listen, it's time for us for our minds to be blown, let's say, right? So I love this. Is there anything, any homework, anything that you want them to do?
No, just come, listen, have fun. We're gonna have an amazing time. I just, I can't wait to meet everyone in person.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great?
I don't think I've met many people in person, but meet everyone in person for us to have an amazing time. I just cannot wait because it's something to be said. This online space is great, but it's something to be said about, going out and doing the things that we've done. I've been very intentional about preparing. We,
Yes, she has.
so, just being very, um, just knowing that whenever you come, you're gonna, you whatever you pay for, you're gonna get. Number one, you're gonna get more than you pay. You're gonna get more than what you paid for, and then I'm just super excited, just super super excited. I cannot wait. So.
Yay. Yay. I was super excited too. So I love you guys. Listen, all of the links are posted in the Facebook group. So make sure that you connect, that if you have not registered, you register. If you have any questions, if there's a topic that you want to discuss on any of the live, make sure that you reach out to me and let me know, because if I can't discuss it, I'm going to find someone that can, right? So because my goal is to make sure that you, whatever it is that you need, that I can support and help with, that is what I'm going to do. So I love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. V, for joining me tonight. I love you. I love you. I can't wait to see. Guys, doesn't she look beautiful?